So what NHL opinion will have you like this? We'll share ours in a little bit, but there was a bunch of there were some really, really good ones going around, and then there were some that people definitely missed the boat on what it's supposed to be. Like I saw our boy Frank said allowing the teams to ice the puck after committing an infraction makes no sense. I have had that take for, I remember it was one of the first like somewhat viral clips I had when I started working at the Nation, was me saying that, because it really does make no sense how you commit an infraction and the sport is like immediately here. It's like such a Canadian plate way to be like, yes, you tripped him. That's 2 minutes in the box. You can ice the puck though.
Yeah.
Like we'll forget about that one rule. That's a rule all the other time. It'd be like in the NFL if, the defense went offside and then players were allowed to like commit offensive pass interference, or the reverse of that. If the offensive team went offside, it's like, what, defense, you can just grab them, just play however you want. Like,
yeah,
it's weird that you committed infraction and then get like a little treat, a little bonus to make your life a little easier.
Yeah, I don't love it because if it was the opposite, you'd probably get a lot more goals as well.
You would get a lot more
goals. So
it would increase scoring without like fundamentally changing the game. It would also probably make for like you wanting to have some more finesse players available on your PK, because you can't just have guys who hammer it around the glass. You would need guys who can chip it high and out of the zone.
I also think from like a younger age level, it would develop better puck skills for guys.
Totally.
Because
I think USA hockey's done this at the youth level.
A lot of tournaments you go to in the US for like just say US hockey development camps, for example, they will have stuff like that where they'll put in certain rules where like you can't change if the other team has the puck, or like icing the puck, stuff like that. It's a good way to just kind of keep people thinking about the game rather than just like, hey, now I just have to hit this as hard as I can down the ice.
Yeah. Sean said the guys on the PK would be absolutely exhausted, but I do like it. Joe says PK percentage would tank. Absolutely. It would, but again, it would be in the name of getting scoring up, which granted, I don't actually think scoring's in a bad spot right now in the NHL. Like save percentage is down, goals per game, I think, is generally up. So,
and also too, like, I think people are exaggerating how much the puck actually gets iced. Like a lot of times, like guys have enough time to ice the puck, but also too, they would have just as much time to just like chip it up.
Yeah, I would love to like see how many scenarios where like the puck going down the ice is the result of a shot that missed the net, a block shot that ricochets out, or a scenario, that's a good point by you, where like, yes, a guy did ice it, but did he have time to like take 5 steps up and then just chip it softly?
Like it happens a lot, and I think the refs would become, how do you say it, more lenient to it too. Like you said, if a guy blocks the puck and it goes all the way down the ice, or whatever it may be.
Aaron, if you want to flash up the little image again, because I do want the YouTube chat, and I see a couple of you dropping them in. I want your kind of like hot takes. It can be Oilers related. It can be NHL related. I got a couple that are just like generally fandom related as well. So Liam and I are going to share ours in a bit, but I do think there were a few people that answered this thing who like totally missed the boat on what it's supposed to be.
Which isn't surprising.
No, not surprising at all. But some of the quote tweets were like, okay, this one from Ross Leviton. If a penalty continues through intermission, the opening faceoff should be in the offensive zone for the team on the power play. I mean, how often does that happen? Like once every 8 games, there's a power play that continues in the next period. Like that one was whatever. I saw one that was like, players should have to wear neck guards. I'm like, that's not going to have the knives out at your throat being like, I think players should wear, ironically, I think players should wear neck guards. Like, all right. I saw one being like, if you have more than one favorite team, like whatever, yes and no. You can have other teams you enjoy watching.
I always hate that stuff where it's when people are like, oh, you wear another man's name on your back of your jersey.
I hate that one.
Just let people go to the damn game.
Yeah, and like,
who cares?
Also, if your team sucks, if your team stinks, let's say right now you're a San Jose Sharks fan, and you know you're not going to be good for the next few years, and this year during the playoffs, you were like, man, I think the Montreal Canadiens were a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. And next year you want to watch Montreal Canadiens games and be like, I kind of want them to win. Just watch them. Yeah. Just watch them. Aaron said, not knife worthy, but I do not understand the point of the goalie trapezoid thing. Yeah, I think that's another one where like, if the NHL changed that tomorrow, who argues it?
Yeah, no,
I don't even think goalie people would argue it.
No, I think it's a bit of a silly, especially to be penalized for it. Like, I don't know. I think it's just dumb. Like, I feel like they could be less harsh on it, being like, or the goalie touched the puck. Because Skinner did it, didn't he, in the
Yeah.
playoffs? That one game was an offensive zone draw, no change. Just something like that.
Or
like,
just get rid of it. If
yeah,
a
I'll
goalie
just
wants to go
remove it.
out, it's at his own risk.
Yeah, yeah.
Craig said teams should be able to pick the dimensions of their home ice between NHL or international size and
Ooh.
build their rosters accordingly. That is something like it is wild to think about in baseball. Every park is just different.
In soccer, especially in England, I know this for sure. Your field has to be a certain area.
So you can do a shorter but like fatter.
Yeah, so
one?
it can be like wider and shorter, or
There you go.
longer and short and
And
narrower.
thinner.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah. It would. Like, can you imagine the Oilers? They draft McDavid and they're like, oh shit, we're playing on international ice next year, and the Oilers just have more space. It would be cool to create like more of a true home ice advantage, but I do think it'll obviously never happen.
Yeah, because in baseball, is there like, obviously everyone's different. Like you
There's
said,
regulations.
Is there? Yeah, like what is it? Because I think people, the green monster is one thing. Is like, oh, but it's also like not that far. Like a lot of guys should be able to hit it over it.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
also I think if a team were to build a stadium tomorrow, like if whatever. Pick a team was or an expansion team in baseball was like, we're putting a green monster in baseball. I'd probably be like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Fenway is kind of allowed to do that because it's 100 years old.
Right. They just, it's historic. The game, the beautiful game.
Yeah. I saw an interesting hypothetical with that about the NBA too, whereas like NBA teams should be able to pick where their 3-point line is.
Oh, interesting.
Because if you had a team of sharpshooters, would you want it closer or do you pull it further back? Because, your guys can make it, but the other team won't be able to.
Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it?
But like also, how much could you really change it, right? Like once you bring it back 3 feet, like eventually you just...
It would always be the same in the corners.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I like that one, though. It's fun to like think of what experiments you can make on the games. Is this a good one?
I like Julian McKenzie from The Athletic.
Yeah.
Every interaction I have with him on the road stuff, it is great. He is honestly one of the like top tier nice guys in the business.
I hate some of this stuff too.
He had 2, and I was like, man, I need to roast him for it. Unfortunately, I think I didn't like the tweet. I'm gonna like it though. Here you go. Yep.
Way to go.
He said every team that misses the playoffs should play for the number 1 overall pick in a bracket style tournament. That makes Julian, again, prefacing this with the fact that I love Julian. This is a horrendous take. Horrendous. And here's why. Players don't give a fuck.
No, they don't care.
If you were any player in the league and you just played 82 games and you came in last place, or you missed the playoffs by 2 points and the league was like, all right, Nazem Kadri, you need to go play in a 16-team tournament for the first overall pick and risk injury and not get any extra money, I would be like, I'm not doing that.
And also, too, like...
Who would watch that? Who would want to watch that?
You would get so many more players being like, oh, I'm injured.
Exactly.
I
Totally.
can't play. I got a broken nail.
Guys would not want to play. Also, I hate... Like people are like, oh, tanking, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I don't think it is that bad. I think teams.
I don't think it's
bad
bad
teams.
People are always like, the team who's closest to missing the playoffs should get first overall pick. No, because then teams would be stuck being terrible forever.
Yeah.
They'd be chasing their tail in free agency, trying to just get like a little bit better. Tanking is not that bad. I don't think hockey has a problem like baseball. Baseball has, and we'll talk about it in a bit, baseball has like a fundamental issue where owners can make a couple $1 million a year and not sign players and basically just live off the payments they get from baseball. Like there's a business case for teams to just continually be bad, and there are some generally shitty and terrible owners in the sport of baseball. Hockey doesn't really have that, partially because of the cap system. There's a salary floor and a salary ceiling. But like, I don't think there's an owner in hockey who would sit there, kick their feet up and be like, let's just keep coming in last for a little bit because we're going to be making money. Like, I don't think hockey has that same problem. I actually think the NHL should make their draft lottery less complicated. Again, like you want to talk about tanking, whatever. I don't think people made a big deal out of the Oilers because they got all those first overall picks in a row, but like they were legitimately terrible. Also, a big reason why the Oilers kept getting those first overall picks is because the first overall picks weren't like good. Like Nuge didn't come in, and Nuge wasn't immediately like a point per game player. Taylor Hall was obviously really, really good. If he would have been the first overall pick, not the first one, maybe that would have played out differently if the Oilers were further along. But like, I mean, Yakupov sucked. Yakupov was also like consensus number one. What were you going to do? Not take him? So I don't know, man. I feel like, again, the league overreacted to the Oilers winning all of those and made a system that's just wildly complicated. I really do think you could do the NFL style where there is no lottery, or have a lottery where it's like, yeah.
I think that would encourage tanking, though.
I
In
mean,
the NFL, it's like a little bit different because shorter schedule, and by the time you do get to the end of the season, like typically the team that is last doesn't have a quarterback, and they're already on their fourth one that season anyway. So it's like kind of works out okay.
That's
but
fair.
I just think in the NHL, like, it's not broken.
Yeah,
like I think it's fine.
That's right. I just think, like, again, it's a complicated lottery.
Yeah,
I think you could simplify the lottery.
I agree with
and
that,
just be like, it's a draw for first overall. Everyone else like moves down a spot, whatever. But it's probably not an issue.
With the knives on my neck.
Okay.
What if they just eliminated drafting? Like, I think that would be very interesting. Here's two of them. Eliminate the draft, and I think it would. And I think all organizations are relatively good, but it would always force you to keep a high standard within your organization. Like, teams wouldn't lag behind because they didn't upgrade their dressing room for a few years. Something like that. I know it's pretty minor. Or the other one I would like to change actually is fewer rounds in the draft. I think you could easily go 4 rounds and be fine.
Yeah,
and then just go beyond that, because fifth.
I want to see the draft age moved. I know they can't.
I don't like that.
I would love to be more like the NFL, though, where, like, can you imagine drafting Connor Bedard at 20 after he played 2 years of college, and he comes in and he's like more prepared to dominate and be a superstar? And like that would also add more intrigue to the draft, where, like, imagine a 20-year-old goalie in the draft where you're like, oh, this guy's going to be starting, like a Dustin Wolf. Yeah. He's starting for us next year. Like, I think it would create a lot more of a drafting for need over best player available, which I think would be fascinating.
Yeah, that would be interesting. The problem I would have in it is you would have to play junior later. Like, you couldn't have kids playing junior at 16. Like, you would have to implement somewhat of like a...
I think all the good players are just in college, in my scenario.
But then you need more college teams.
Yeah, probably.
I think it would just get a bit too complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think eliminating directly... I remember once a scout told me in the NHL, anything beyond the 5th round, you're just throwing...
Just guessing.
Darts at the board.
So why not have them just be undrafted free agents?
Yeah, just sign
and
them.
In 2 years, if they're good, teams will sign them.
Like, you look, like a lot of the guys drafted are European or college players. Obviously, a few CHL players squeak through, but like, what were the Oilers picks? They picked 2 guys who were going to the NCAA and then a goalie from Finland. It's like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Oh.
Thank you for...
well, I was done my take.
I know. The sneeze came at a really bad time. It came at a really, really bad time. All right, let's get to some of the ones.
Actually, Wise Kyle finally had a good take in the chat. Players should declare for the draft.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Like that. Yeah, well done, Kyle. You did it.
You got one, Kyle. I should let everybody know, by the way, that this segment is brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. It is just down the road. You can like almost actually... Oh, I can see the dealership from here if I look through the window. Beautiful. Just down the road, right in the heart of Sherwood Park. Check them out online, sherwoodford.ca, to get in on or check out a large selection of new and used vehicles. Remember, Nation Valet Service allows you to never visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. I have a few.
Yeah, I got a few.
I mean, like, we have some people here are like actual Oilers takes all the time. So, like, you and I are definitely in the minority on Janmark. You and I are definitely in the minority on Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, definitely on the Janmark for sure. I still don't get it.
There's one I had, and it's a result of you and I getting to travel and go to a lot of different stadiums. The beer prices at Rogers Place aren't that bad.
No. Especially, like, what have we been together? LA, Vegas.
LA, Vegas, Dallas.
Vancouver was fine.
Vancouver was still more expensive than Edmonton.
Yeah, and their arena blows.
Their arena does blow. But, like, I do get pissed off and I roll my eyes when you show up for the Cup Finals and you're like, oh, they put beers up another $1. And first game of the playoffs, they put them up $1. And first game next year, they're probably going to be up another $1. But the point is, the draft beers are still under $20 Canadian. You cannot go anywhere in the States and really find a draft beer, I think, for under 20 US.
I remember when they brought it out and the argument was it's market price. And everyone was like, what? I can go to I can go to this place and get it for $6.
Yeah.
Their market is the NHL.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. It like, oh, it's actually very reasonable. Their food is, I think they have pretty good food options too.
Yeah.
Like you go to a lot of places, especially Florida. Like they didn't really have a lot going on there either. It's very expensive.
Rogers Place is like
the best.
It's the best arena in the NHL.
Yeah.
It's new. I think it's starting to have more character with the Oilers Wall of Fame. I do think they could add a little bit more, but like they added the Welcome to Oil Country. Like
they're building.
They're adding a bit more character to it, which I love. And like the prices, all things considered, are not that bad. You can get a sliced pizza for what, $10?
Yeah.
And also, you want to talk about everywhere else. I went to a restaurant 2 Sundays ago, and the regular price for a 20-ounce pint of beer was $11. Their house lager was $11.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was at Ruth Chris or like some bougie ass, like I wasn't at Bar Trove, shout out Lauren Kyle. I was just at like the place down the street from my house, and their draft beer was $11. So like, again, you go to an event, you know you're going to pay more. I love ripping OEG whenever I get a good chance to do it. This isn't one of those. The beer prices are actually fine at Rogers Place, and people will yell at you about that. But I will also say there are still a lot of real drunk idiots at those games. If you made beers $12, oh my God, it would be a mess. I do actually think it's somewhat decent as a preventative measure.
Yeah, it's clever in that way, for sure. Because especially too, like, if you just go into beer gardens before the game in Fort Hall,
they're $6.
Like $6.
Yeah, so you can go have 2 before the game, get in, have a couple during,
more,
and then just go after.
You'll
like,
be fine.
You're going to have a good buzz.
You go back to the house if you
go back to the Molson House after. Yeah.
We did get a super chat, which we haven't had for a
We've
while.
not. Shout out to the Ben Stelter Foundation.
The Ben Stelter Foundation, yeah. I do believe we're going to be releasing a number on that.
We are. I think
Arnold's just on vacation. He's enjoying his time away.
He is.
So he'll let us know after. But the Press Canadian said, reduce the number of teams to 28. There's too much parity of talent in the league.
I will say,
I kind of agree.
I agree.
20 is excessive, but like it was better when it was. It
was better when it was 30, and the fact they're going to 34 is insane.
Brutal.
There's not enough star power.
No, there's not.
That's my big issue with it. Is like, I don't know. I think I agree. It's creating a little bit too much parity. I do think we could get to a point where there's a very big have and have not group. There are have and have not groups in the NHL, and not from a perspective of like financials. I think from a perspective of being ran well. Yeah. Like I think there's going to be a lot of teams who struggle to build their teams the right way once we get to 34, because we know 34 is coming at some point here. 34 is coming. It's going to create an even bigger gap where there will be plenty of scrubs and quad A players to go around. The teams who are the best at finding them and are building their team in a certain way, there's going to be a method that allows you to separate. So I agree that right now the parity is annoying. I think as we go on in this system, there could be a bit more of a gap.
Do you think there's not to spin this too far out of the way, because I want to talk about this a bit more, but I wonder if that's a way the Oilers could move on from a Nurse contract as an expansion draft.
Yeah, you eventually get to 34, and they need to get to the cap floor. By that point, Nurse would maybe have 2-3 years left. It's down the line.
Yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
long ways away.
I never considered that. I completely agree with the Press Canadian. I think the league is just in a spot where they're trying to grow it so much, but focusing on it in the wrong areas. I've spoken about my thoughts on that expansion outside of the NHL, and the NHL should help that, especially in college hockey. There's no college hockey teams on the West Coast in California. That needs to change. It needs to grow in Texas a little bit more, I would say, too, from college hockey level. Western League obviously is trying to grow a little bit more too, but I think the junior hockey is fine. But like you look at the NHL draft this past year, and there was guys at the bottom of the first round who were like, "Well, fourth liner."
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that's not good. And that kind of leads me into my opinion on the knife thing again. The Seattle Kraken, maybe the most irrelevant team in NHL history. Like, I just can't stand
I don't even think knives would be out for you. I think that's actually one of the rare things everyone agrees on.
I just think they were, like, brought into the league at such, like, a poor time because everyone saw how Vegas just manipulated the draft in their way. And credit to them, they didn't do anything wrong. They just played the system, and they did a really good job of it. And I just think that Seattle is just trying to dig up, and they just have no help doing it because also the NHL has done a bad job of marketing them at the same time. So the Seattle Kraken, maybe it's a weaker one, but I just think they're just going to be stuck in limbo forever. Potentially the worst, and I know there's probably teams that have worse records, but like the worst expansion team ever.
No, those Columbus early
I
Columbus
know,
teams
but
were
like I just
pitiful.
think they're just so boring.
It took Columbus like 15 years to win a playoff game.
But I mean in the sense of like I don't care. And they're in the Oilers division, and I just think everything around them is like, oh, they're very boring.
I forget they're not in the Central
but at least
all
like
the time.
Columbus had Rick Nash, and there's like a little bit to get around. It's like,
I guess.
oh great, Seattle signed Chandler Stevenson, and everyone's like, oh, state tax is so good for all these teams. Like, oh no, it's not.
Seattle stinks.
Seattle stinks.
Depressed Canadian dropped in another $20, so we'll read his second one. Not sure how unpopular this take is, but Kevin Lowe is a very good pre-cap GM. The Pronger trade to Anaheim just melted his brain in the cap era. So I went back through some of his early moves. When he made that trade, this would have been November of 2000. He sent Bill Guerin to Boston for Anson Carter, and he got a second-round pick, and he got the option to swap their first-round picks in either of the next two drafts. Mm-hmm. And then he did do the pick swap, and it allowed the Oilers to move up 6 spots to get Ales Hemsky. Unbelievable trade. He had a couple of other here that really stood out to me when I just quickly browsed through. Again, this is well before our time. I mean, the Pronger deal to get Chris Pronger was an unbelievable trade. To have him extended to, like, all of it. Getting Chris Pronger, crazy impressive. The Mike Pekka trade from Mike York and a conditional pick, which ended up being a first rounder, but like Pekka came in, immediate impact guy for this team. He actually did. I agree with it 100%. He made a lot of really good trades, even like getting out of Mike Comrie. He almost turned him into Corey Perry, and then there was some squabbling, but like he ended up getting a first, a third, Jeff Witka for him. Like, I don't know. It really worked. He had some duds. Like he traded down and picked Marc-Antoine Pouliot when Zach Parise was on the board. That was obviously dud. I'm not saying he batted 1,000. Kevin Lowe definitely for a stretch of time got way too much hate in this city. The Lowe must go stuff, all of that. I think there was some misdirected anger at him. And again, I'm fully saying this is well before our time. Yeah. We were too young to maybe understand the full context of a lot of this stuff, but when you look at Kevin Lowe as a player, model Oiler, when you look at some of the guys from those teams in the 80s, a lot of controversy. Kevin Lowe didn't really have a ton of that behind him. And then he stuck. He's still here. You still see him at the rink.
Yeah, he's around.
Yeah.
He's a legendary Oiler.
He's a legendary Edmontonian.
Yeah, Edmontonian. That's a good way to do it. Yeah, really solid player. He's an interesting player to have on our top 100 list too.
Totally.
Where he's going to be. Do you have another take? I have one more.
I have one more for the Ben Stelter Foundation from Pesty, who said the NHL should up the minimum salary for one-way players in the league so that there's more movement within the league and more equality and money among players. That's a PA thing. The NHL has no interest in paying the players more if they don't have to. So
yeah, they do not.
Kevin Lowe got roasted for the Ryan Smith trade. Yes, that's fair. But I don't know. They should have just paid Ryan Smith, I guess, but it was also a squabble over $100K. And like, if Smith wanted to stay, he also could have just signed the contract and stayed. So like, I don't really put that so much all on Kevin Lowe. I put a little bit of that on Ryan Smith.
A bit of both.
You can't be crying in the airport about how sad you are to be leaving when the team offered you a contract that was pretty close to market value and you didn't want to sign it. You're right, though. To go back to the point, the cap era melted his brain. It wasn't good with the cap. So yeah.
My next one.
Okay.
I think Macklin Celebrini is currently the third best first overall pick since 2010, and will be better than Nathan MacKinnon.
Ooh, better than Nathan MacKinnon's crazy because Nate has a cup, he's got an MVP, he's got a scoring title,
and I realize it's a long way to go. Yeah. And I know people maybe will think about it, but like the first overall picks have actually been pretty bad. A lot of the time, there's not been many like franchise turning players. Obviously, McDavid's number one.
Yeah.
McKinnon would currently be number two. Like, I think a lot of people would think of like Jack Hughes.
He's plateaued.
Yeah.
I bet on him to win MVP last year. I mean, he got hurt, which derailed it, but like, damn.
And like 99-point season for him, but like when he came into the league, he had like 20 points.
Yeah.
Macklin Celebrini came into the league last year on a San Jose Sharks team, which was horrendous. It was basically him. And then like a 65-point season in 70 games, whatever it ended up being. I just think he has so much potential. I think he's a very exciting player. I wish the NHL would push him a lot more. I understand why they don't because he's in San Jose. Yeah. But like, Bedard, again, has been on 3 season opening broadcasts.
They're pushing Bedard
he's
hard.
A really good player. And he's in Chicago. It's a lot different. But I think Celebrini is a special talent that was not given the push he deserved coming into the league. because he played for the Chicago Steel and played in college at Boston and didn't play in the Western Hockey League.
If
like
he would have
was
played for
supposed
the
to.
London Knights or the Vancouver Giants, there probably would have been
totally.
more.
I think he was a Seattle Thunderbirds pick or whatever it was. It was like he is a special player.
Yeah. We have one in here from Kevy who said, hot take, Atlanta 3.0 will be a smashing success.
No.
And Arizona 2.0 will get Matthews as a free agent in their first season. Here's where I'll disagree with you, Kevy. Atlanta's not a good sports town.
For any team. The only team I truly really support is our MLS team. And that seems to be it, which is crazy.
But like the Falcons don't have like a crazy rabid fan base.
No.
The Atlanta Braves, they struggled to sell out playoff games for the Atlanta Braves. Like,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
They're a great team.
They're a great team, dude.
Aaron loves them.
Yeah. What else? Okay, I had a couple. The Anaheim Ducks Mighty Ducks logo is the worst logo in hockey.
The Mighty Ducks?
And their jerseys stink. Those orange jerseys with the Mighty Ducks logo are the biggest eyesore in the entire NHL. And nobody actually thinks the Mighty Ducks logo is cool. Everyone just says it because they remember the movies and because they're told it's cool. That's an awful logo. With the orange, terrible.
This one?
The teal and purple was awful. The whole thing was just terrible.
I actually quite liked this one.
Oh,
with the green in it. I don't like the modern version as much.
The modern version sucks. I think that version, it looks like it was made in clip art.
It might have been.
It might have been. It looks like an intern at Disney spent an hour and was like, okay.
What about that one, though?
Oh, those ones were bad with the duck punching
Badass.
through. Is that Jason York?
I don't know.
I think he might have been on that team who had to do it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the orange jerseys are trash. The Ducks logo is just absolutely putrid. It's all bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Daggy says I love the old purples. Brutal. They're awful, 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 awful. If the NHL had an expansion team in Anaheim that just started this year and they rolled out this logo, they would be ridiculed for it. Ridiculed. It's 90s nostalgia, which I understand to an extent, but people act like it's the best jersey in the NHL. It is bottom 5 without a doubt.
What about this one?
Terrible.
It's more of the ring. People can't see it, obviously.
Yeah,
this is Mighty Ducks.
This was their alternate one, I think sometime around 06. Blah. Someone said better than Seattle's. No, Seattle's is sharp. It's cool. It's got some intricacy to the design.
It's actually the only good thing about the franchise.
Yeah, the Seattle logo is it stands out. It's bold. It's got like a timeless sort of look to it. Yeah. They could continue to wear that for the next 50 years and it'd be fine.
Another thing too, I just have never cared about any of that stuff. Like I remember when the Golden Knights came out and it was like the Golden Knights, like look at their logo. It's
and
so
then you
gross.
just get used to it.
And then it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
The Golden Knights are fine. The logo's fine.
It's just a logo.
Yep.
The Ducks one I like just because it's very different. And they're like the only franchise I can think of off the top of my head that's like, we're going to base ourselves off a movie.
Yeah, but that's because Disney bought it and all of that.
Totally, but it's fun. It's fun.
I despise it. And also, every shot they've ever taken at rebranding has been horrible.
Yeah.
Same thing with like the Buffalo Sabres, right? Like the Buffalo Sabres had a timeless look and then chased their tails for 15 years and then just had to go back to the timeless look. But like, I don't know. I just hate how the Ducks will rebrand. It'll suck. Although I do think the D logo is better than and then they just go like, we're bringing back the Mighty Ducks logo and everyone like cheers and it's like, what a move. And it's like, no, it sucks. It sucks.
It is funny now that when the cast from the Mighty Ducks movie just gets rolled out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they're older.
Yeah, they're old. They're old.
Great movies. I love them.
Bunkin asked if we're going to get new Oilers jerseys this year. We are not.
No. Oh, that was the other thing I had quickly. The NHL should not have an issue with what jerseys teams wear. You should be able to pick what jersey you wear on that day. So, like, for example, if the Kraken, let's just go back to the Kraken, playing the Red Wings. The Red Wings should be able to roll into town in their reds.
Yeah.
Play in red. Play red and blue.
I mean, we have the ability to communicate.
We do.
So, like, if you were the Red Wings and you're coming for your Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary road trip, and it's 3 games and you're back home to Detroit, and the Oilers, Ducks, and Flames were like, hey, guys, we want to wear our whites for a home game just to, like, give a bit of a different look. Hey, Detroit, bring your reds. Click.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Click.
I think it would be awesome.
Baseball teams wear multiple jerseys on their road trips. I know that's a little bit different.
Well, soccer teams do it every game.
I know. Well, soccer's very different because it's much easier to pack. Like for hockey, you're talking different helmet, different gloves.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Yes.
It's a lot more difference. Baseball, pants, batting helmet, jersey and you're kind of done. Soccer's just shirt, shorts.
I just hate the idea of like, and this happens a lot in junior leagues, where like halfway through the season, it's like, home team wears white now because we want to promote the road teams.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
No, it's not about that. It's just let teams wear the way they want. Like, I remember when I was in England, I go and watch Bolton, and Manchester United would roll into town. Historic red jerseys. Like, it's amazing to like see those players, and that's how like you don't think of Pavel Datsyuk in a white Detroit Red Wings jersey, or like Austin Matthews. You think of them in their blue and red. It's like that's what people should be able to see when they go and see them in their hometown.
Yeah.
It's not always going to work, of course, but
and it doesn't
when
always,
it does, it should be great.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
None of my takes were warranted. I wouldn't have got a knife to the throat on any of them, I don't think.
My Ducks one has people angry.
Yeah, people are going at that.
I just despise that logo. Are there any good Oilers ones? I don't know. No. I was like, is there something about Nuge? But like, I think if I were to be like, Nuge should have his number retired and break like the Hall of Fame rule, everyone would probably be like, yes, that's the correct take to have.
Yeah. What one do I have? Matthias Janmark would have the same reputation as a guy like Podkolzin if he took less money.
Yeah. We'd love him if he was making league man.
Even $1 million.
Yeah.
He's just stupid.
Yeah.
Well, we can get into it again. And people really loved it when we brought up earlier.
Steven says the Oilers reverse retro from the Canadian division year was one of the best. It was so sick with the orange shoulders. I heard the players liked them. I think that's why they wore them more, because the players were like, these are sweet.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing.
Yeah. My Oilers hot take, the Oilers have a lack of vibes, guys. Yes. 1000%.
Yeah.
You look at other teams, like the Caps doing their like bands maker dance thing, and like every team always, and Pink Pony Club, I guess, for the Oilers was a thing. And so I don't want to like totally bury the fun that they do have. But like Gregor and I talked about this on his show a couple of times. Like, I hope the youth movement in Edmonton does this. I hope Jake Wallman gives them some swagger. I wish the Oilers had a bit more fun when they played. I wish they had a bit more like of that swagger and like, we're beating you and we're laughing while we do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think they're a little bit too worried about like, we don't get excited for the regular season.
Yeah, too professional.
Yeah, sometimes.
Let loose a little bit. Like, I remember a few years ago when they were coming back against the Rangers and Draisaitl just fired Trubisky into the bleachers.
Draisaitl sometimes, awesome.
We'll have that. Draisaitl has it. I think Nurse has it a little bit when he wants to be a bit of a dickhead.
But those both come from the fuck you side of the vibes.
Yeah.
I want more of like the let's get the boys going in the room a little bit side of it.
And I do agree Howard and Savoy will hopefully help that a little bit.
Yep, they should.
Yeah.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.